Alright, Battletech fans, so here we are with yet another unboxing for you on the channel, and this time, we finally managed to get our hands on some Eridani Light Horse and some Hansen's Roughriders Battle Lances, and we're gonna pop these guys open today. Jeff, you've never seen these until today, have you?
Nope.
And I haven't either, unless you count the photos that we looked at a little while ago, but
Right.
Here's something kind of interesting that I want to see if I can answer with this unboxing, is I see these little jump plumes here, right? Everybody knows these guys got some jumpers in them, right? But I want to know, can I take off and add those jump jet plumes during battle? Like in the middle of a game, could I be like, let's say I got that Thunderbolt, right? And I don't want my opponent to know I'm rocking the TDR 5SE, and they ain't looked at my record sheets, right? So I'm just like, bang, firing large laser, 3 medium lasers. I don't let on that I got that smaller LRM, right? He gets into a, like, advantageous position for me to capitalize, and I'm like, oh, look, bitch, jump jets,
DFA!
bam, exactly. And they're like, LOL, what? And that's when you stick the plumes on there, and you're like, oh, shit, got Kansas City shuffled, and that's what I want to know, like, if you could pull something like that. So I'm kind of interested to see what this looks like, so I ain't gonna take up too much more of your time. We got our old pal, Mr. Stabby. It's the classic skin he's got. Leave a comment for Mr. Stabby. He loves to read them. Jeff, you ready for this?
Yep.
Do. All right. Let's pop this bad mofo open. Woo! There goes some cards. Oh man, look at that Atlas on the inside. The old, I believe, Les Dorscheid Atlas. So we'll talk about the Atlas first, seeing as how that's what's in there. All right, so new Atlas. Here we got it. Different pose. I believe this is like the third Atlas now that's come in something that's been of a different pose, don't you think?
I don't really keep counting.
I think it has. But I mean, an Atlas is an Atlas. I know you like it, don't you?
Well, as far as Intersphere mechs go, but you know I'm a clanner.
See, this is the next mech that I gotta bust out right now, because Jeff, you got a history with the old Penetrator, don't you?
Yeah.
Here's the story. We're playing a Christmas game. I want to say this was 2019.
Yeah.
And all the mechs were in a blind box. You didn't know what you was going to get, right? And you could go back and get something else, but if you swapped out your selection, you were hosed. You couldn't make any more. And he had a Penetrator. That's what he got. And he looked at that thing and he was like, man, this sucks. And he went back into the blind box and pulls out like the TDR 9SE Thunderbolt, I think, with the large pulse laser on it, and ended up getting creamed. But didn't you last to like the final 3 out of like 8 or 9 players?
Top 3. Top
Okay.
3. I did fairly well. I might have done better. I might have done top 2 at this, but I did do top 3. So
But I like the Penetrator. So I mean, you could say what you want about it.
I mean, a bunch of short, medium lasers. I mean, I just wasn't impressed with the.
They're medium pulse, and it's got that speed.
Intersphere.
Oh my God, dude. There's no pleasing you. Let's get this Enforcer. Lethal Enforcers, player 1. Wow. All right. So let's see, Enforcer. I like how they got the little pack on the chest there. It still has that classic look. Go ahead.
Standard workhorse.
Oh, he's great.
50 counter.
All right. Let's see that guy. Now here is the moment of truth. I got the jump jet plumes here in my hand, right?
And the Thunderbolt.
And I got, no, that's not the Thunderbolt. That's
the
in the
Hatchet
other one.
Man.
This is the Hatchet Man. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can't connect these just real fast. Looks like they go in like that. Okay, there we go. With the base not in the way, we got that gimmick worked out. See, because there's a couple little holes in the bottom here. Let me see if I can get that on camera real fast. A couple of holes in the bottom there. And then the hex base itself has these.
There we go. So that, okay.
We'll stick that guy on there. Bing, bang, boom. So, looking at this now, I'm looking at it going, yeah, I don't think that we'll be able to. I don't think that we'll be able to swap it out in the middle of battle. Like maybe if you did the base in such a way, but I don't know. It would be. It seems to me like it would be difficult. Like you'd have to either choose whether or not that Hatchet Man was forever going to be jumping, or if it was never going to be jumping. Or one or the other.
Or what you do is get 2 of them, and one in one state and one in the other state. If you really wanted to do that whole, it's like all of a sudden, it's like you go
pull the old switcheroo.
Go, whoop. It's like, aha! It jumps just when you didn't expect it to.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the Hatchet Man.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be an expensive way to do it, but you could do it that way.
You ruined your day. He's the Hatchet Man.
Don't all Hatchet Mans jump? Or...
Yeah, I believe so. All right, let's move on. We got now the Eridani Light Horse Hunter Lance. Hunter. The old stabby buddy. Blinkage. And of course, these come with Alpha Strike cards, but I'm pretty sure you're not interested in that. I ain't about to whip that up. Alright. There's the Sagittaire Alpha Strike card, if you don't know what that's about. So I'm going to pull this guy out right the F away because, oh my god, that is beautiful and it is heavy. Feel that. That's got weight.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh boy.
Definitely.
See, and the TDR 5SE Thunderbolt, I'm going to stick it on the turntable here. The TDR 5SE Thunderbolt was actually the mech that I won the second invitational in. And it's always had a soft spot in my heart. So I'm just like, seeing that jumping Thunderbolt made me go, yes! What do you think?
Cool, but that just has the jump plumes permanently attached?
No, I don't think so. Here, let me have a look at it. Because what I think is, see, it comes off.
Okay.
It has these little pips on it, just like the other one did. And there's the little holes right there. You could make it even heavier, I guess, if you wanted to fill that in with like green stuff. But there, okay, the jump plumes come off.
Okay.
Not a problem. And then, see, look, it's got these little holes right here in the feet.
To put that.
So you can stick that back on the base here. Yeah, there we go. See, it goes in at an angle.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you can cover that up. I'm going to put that on the turntable here. You can cover that up with some basing material or just whatever stuff you happen to have handy if you don't want it to be a jumping Thunderbolt, and then nobody will ever know that. And you'll have to use some green stuff or gap filler or some kind of basing glue on those jump jet exhaust ports. But I think it's neat because that's a running pose, so I think that's pretty sick, don't you?
Yeah, that works.
See, I love it. It's like taking off. It's like the Flash. He's ready to go. And this one came assembled in the box already, which I thought was kind of neat. And the holes are sized here, so you know where to put them.
And for the most part, Thunderbolts don't jump.
Typically not, but the Eridani Light Horse versions, usually when you see a TDR blank SE, that's the Eridani Light Horse whatever version of it. And typically the ELH like to jump. The Sagittaire, he big, he got many guns.
It looks like it.
And there's his Alpha Strike card. So what do you think of his Alpha Strike card?
For in a Spear mech, that would be pretty frightening to run into an Alpha Strike. So yeah.
I'll admit that the Sagittaire isn't something that I often pilot. It's just one of those things that doesn't come up, or it's in an era that I don't often use. I want to say it's in the like 3070s or so that it comes, something like that, late 30s, 60s. I can't remember off the top of my head. Like I say, I've hardly ever used the thing. But the variants of it that I've seen, yeah, they have a ass ton of guns. It's a lumbering weapons factory. That's the nickname we used to have for the Grand Titan back in the day. But this thing certainly eclipses that. Speaking of lumbering weapons factory, Le Banshee. Oh yeah, that's the Steiner version of it. You can tell because he's got the big gun, the SRM there. Or, I mean, it's either a play on that or some kind of ELH version of it, but you could easily use it to represent that Steiner version of it. But what I like about that, it's got that detail on those autocannon barrels right there in the very front of the miniature.
Right.
You can see even in that tiny little barrel that's poking out there, there's little holes and there's little detail in it, and it's got the chevrons there on the knee, which I think is a nice touch. I really feel like they did the Banshee pretty well in this redesign step. I feel like that the Banshee was pretty decent looking to begin with, but they managed to keep the stunner shades and just make it look that much more badass. And everybody knows how I feel about the Banshee, so I ain't gonna go on for too terribly long. And last but certainly not least, the Cyclops. Optic Blast Fire! So, alright, there's that. Now each of these, Jeff, they retail for $29.99 a pop. That's what you get, the boxes. And you can get the Hansen's Roughriders Battle Lance just at your local game shop. This one was provided to us by Top Deck Games. And then we had the ELH pack, which is a Barnes & Noble exclusive, so you can only pick those up there. But value for the money, what do you think? I mean, and don't pull any punches if you're like, God dang, $30 for 4 miniatures. Like because I'm sitting here thinking $30 for 4 miniatures. Remember, the selling point used to be like you'd get 4 miniatures and it was $20. It was like $5 a pop, right?
Right.
And remember that. Now these miniatures, I'll give them this: they're bigger, so they got more plastic involved. So it's probably what the cost increase is, or at least that's what I hope the reason for it is, because I don't want these things to, the next time these things come out, it's going to be $35 for this, and it's going to be like, all right, now we're starting to, I'm not interested in that. If it gets to that and there's nothing that can be done about it because, money works how it works, then I don't know what to tell you. But the price, I'm going to give them a pass on this one just because I'm like, well, like I say, the miniatures are, by and large, much bigger than your standard, especially that Sagittaire and that Banshee, the Cyclops. They're all bigger than usual. So some of the other Lance packs that had big mechs in it didn't have as much beef as some of these guys. And plus, you got the interchangeable kind of like Lego type battle mechs where you can choose, mix and match how you want to do them. So, okay, I feel like that's worth... I had to talk... See, here's how it is. Everybody thinks I'm being negative when I say something like that, and I'm not. I just got to talk my way through the whole thing, and then I get to the conclusion at the end of it, and I go, okay, well, considering what you get, I think it's good, but now tell me what you think about this. I feel like at this price point, that's about as much as I want to pay for it.
Yeah.
At 4 mechs. I would be fine if it were to go to like 35 and I'm getting 5. Maybe, I don't know if the days of getting those Comstar packs for those prices are over or not, but that kind of thing. Okay, but 4. I'm talking about 4 mechs.
4 mechs, yeah. I mean, you definitely don't want 4 mechs that cost more than the 5 mechs you get with a star.
Right.
That'd be silly.
Right. And at that point, buying 2 Lance boxes would essentially be the same cost as picking up a game of Armored Combat.
Right.
Which, I mean, at that point, you'd have to kind of dial back, and the selling point would be you only have to buy a game of Armored Combat $60. I try to make it so that the investment into Battletech seems to be less than it is other tabletop war games like Warhammer 40K, and I try to make it so that it's obvious to the new player that, oh, this is only going to run me $30 to get a beginner box. All right, that's nothing, and I can get going. And this is $65, I think, for the game of Armored Combat. Oh boy, and I'm going right away. All right, great. And so that is what I think the selling point would be. But I feel like these are still a good bang for the buck. Still good.
It'll work.
All right. And you know what I do like about this is there's the one with the penetrator in it, which was the other one. I think that there is some kind of legendary mech warrior that pilots a penetrator. And if you didn't know, we're starting this series where we're doing paint battles. We got legendary mech warrior in this mech, legendary mech warrior in that mech. We paint them up in their various styles and we set them next to one another. And you tell us who won and who you want to see next. I'm going to put that video at the end of this one. So once you're done here, go straight over there. You can vote on what you want to see next, folks. But Jeff, it's been good. We've got some new miniatures to paint, some new iron to put down on the battlefield. I think we're ready to go. What about you?
Yep.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us once again right here in the Eye of the Tiger Studios in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Tuck Davian with my broadcast partner, the Jeffster. You know him. You all love him. We'll see you next time right here on the Space Lanes.
Be sure to smash our like button and subscribe to our channel.
Crowdfunding is when lots of people give you small amounts of money to help your passion project come to life.